What's up? I see that the Cleveland Cavaliers are indeed interested. And, a lot of times these types of things are just speculated by the media. You might hear rumors on a show like Undisputed or First Take, whatever, but there's some established reports that said that Cleveland actually are interested in acquiring veterans such as a Dwyane Wade or Carmelo Anthony, or maybe both. I don't know if both is reasonable for this upcoming season. Of course, after the NBA Finals, when Cleveland lost to the Golden State Warriors 4-1, despite averaging nearly 115 points a game during the series, they feel as though they need some added scoring punch to their club to contend with the only team really that they see that this obstacle in the way, the Golden State Warriors. I guess, they don't really have a lot of options. I agree with some of the articles I read. They don't have a lot of money to work with. And unless they're willing to give up significant pieces of their team, then they really can't do much. I've read that Dwyane Wade, I think of the two players, I don't know. I don't know. I know that Phil Jackson wants Carmelo out in New York, and I kind of agree with something that Stephen A. Smith said last year, and I don't always agree with what the guy says, but he says you can't have talked that much and have put so much information out there that to the masses and to the media that you don't want this guy there, that he's not welcome. I'm gonna come out, and then not trade the guy. So I think of the two, Carmelo's maybe the most feasible, but I've read that Carmelo's owed 2 more years on his contract, where he will reportedly get paid more than $26 million each season. And Wade's contract, he's owed nearly $24 million for next season. You ever notice two guys that, I kind of alluded to this in my video talking about Jimmy Butler, and everybody always talk about these players and they're greedy and all this, right? You ever notice with these players, they tend to make more money on the back end of their contracts the last couple of years, right? But do you ever notice that when it's come time for management to have to pay these guys that money, there's always some scheme, there's always some machination that, is started from the front office to fuck these guys up their money. Whether they're trying to blame them for something, or they might have some person who make up some story that the players become a distraction to the team when there's absolutely nothing there. All of a sudden they want to blame Carmelo Anthony for losing. Okay, Carmelo has had the same freaking game since he's come to the NBA. Now, I do think that there's some things he stepped away from. I think Carmelo used to play in the post a lot more. I hate the fact that he's become a little bit offensively predictable. I always hear about how this guy's in his prime was one of the, people say this is a guy that has the potential to be the greatest offensive player in the league, but anyway, that's a whole other story. But anyway, the point is, management always tries to screw these guys out of giving them that back end of the money. So, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Even if the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to get these guys, right? If they were able to get a Wade or Carmelo Anthony, I mean, would that really be enough? to continue with Golden State. Wade's going to be even older. Wade's going to turn 36 years old next year. Carmelo turns, I think, 34 sometime next year. You have all these guys on this team, Cleveland, who are getting older. And another thing about those two guys, as they get older, defensively they're going to slip. Now, Wade was a very good defender in his prime. He was a good defender. Carmelo, so, I don't know, guys. I think Cleveland needs to really... I wish teams like Cleveland, instead of always trying to land these, blockbuster, singular players, man, I wish they would do what the Spurs do, man. Just, have some great scouts, man, and really look at some of these young players, man. Try to develop their talent. Try to develop some of these guys, man. Look somewhere else. Look elsewhere, and I mean, because the Spurs, man, a lot of people sleep on this team, man. This team has been winning since 1997. You understand me? They've been winning since 1990. Bill Clinton was in the White House, okay? Michael Jordan was still with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, that's a long time for sustained success. And they're winning as Tim Duncan is gone. You know what I'm saying? They've always been able to go out there and look for new talent. So that's just my take on that, man. I think Cleveland, if they can get one of these guys, salute. But I think they need to look for some younger players and I don't know, man. I just don't like the idea of them trying to get names. I don't think that works in today's NBA. Like, you get a bunch of guys who are older and nah. That's not going to work against Golden State. Because I think if you're trying to outscore Golden State, which it sounds like Cleveland's trying to do with these types of trades, no. Because both of them, neither one of those guys, Wade in his prime was a slashing type guy, okay, who's aging. And a lot of those players like that, those slashing type guys, when they get older, unless they really work on their three-point shot, like a la Vince Carter, that's one of the things about Vince Carter that I will say was smart. Vince Carter started to work on his outside shot while he was in his mid-20s. He really worked on his outside game. And while a lot of fans didn't like it, they wanted to see this guy just dunk and dunk and dunk. It was smart because now he's a consistent outside shooter. Another guy who did that was Dominique Wilkins, if memory serves me correctly. Dominique Wilkins, that's why I get a little irritated, people who always talk about the 85, 86, 87 version of Dominique, 88 versions of Dominique. But I always like more of the 92, 93, 94 versions of Dominique. The guy who shot a little bit lower field goal percentage, a little bit less explosive, but I thought his overall game had expanded a lot. And he wasn't just a dunker. And he was able to shoot and become more of a multi-dimensional threat. You get what I'm saying? And Carmelo, well, he can't hit the outside shot. I just don't know, man. I just don't know about this type of pickups. But that's just me. I could be totally wrong. Tell me what you guys think.